Welcome to Fix My Ship, the place where we navigate through the storms and calm the waters of every kind of relationship, whether it's family, friendship, dating, marriage, or even workplace connections. No matter the issue, we believe every ship can be repaired with the right tools. We hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a chance to grow with us. Let's fix some ships together. Hello, everyone that has decided to tune in. We thank you for coming back to another episode of Fix My Ship. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is one of our first episodes that we have. And I have two special guests with me. This is Unhinged and Unrehearsed. Unhinged and Unrehearsed. I told one of the guests that I'm going to call this the Church Ladies episode. So I don't know if they want to say their name because as of right now, I haven't said my name. So it's up to them if they want to introduce themselves. But right now, we're still behind the veil, if you will. So what you all are getting is unscripted. We didn't talk about what we were going to talk about. I don't know how long this episode is going to be, but thank you for joining us and coming back. So you're liable to hear anything. I'll probably have to make some type of little snippet to go before this episode to talk about what it is we're going to talk about in this next episode. So if you want to introduce yourself with your name, you can, or whatever you want to do to let the people out there know who you are.
Hey, I'm D Rich. Welcome, everyone.
And I'm Mama.
Oh, so they introduced. So this is my mama and D Rich. Okay, all right. Y'all want to let the people know anything
Mama
else
them.
about y'all?
Mama and them.
We the church
Mama.
ladies. We the church ladies. There's one church lady missing, but we the church ladies for right now. So how was y'all day? Wait a minute. Did both of y'all take a pause and say at the same time?
Well, I just came from work.
You just came from work. Oh, okay. And
It
what
was
kind
the
of work
last
do you
day
do?
for the children?
Okay. Last day of
So it
school.
was the last day of school. Hallelujah. Come on, somebody. Any teachers out
Hey,
there?
Hutaba Glory.
Hey, come on, somebody. Say hey. Hey. Bebo.
Shondo.
Hey. Shadama.
Okay. Mama and them.
Mama and them went to breakfast with her sister and them.
With her sister and them.
With her sister and them.
What y'all ate for breakfast?
Grits, eggs. My sister and them had oatmeal and corned beef hash.
That sound like old people food, y'all.
Yeah.
Oatmeal
Yeah.
and corned beef hash.
Who go out to eat that?
One had oatmeal and bananas.
What are
And
these
the other one-
combinations?
Listen.
That's
And the other one that loved to eat breakfast,
Mm.
she had her grits, eggs, corned beef hash, toast, orange juice.
That sound like people ain't got no teeth.
You know what?
Y'all just yum and I don't know. That sound like people ain't got no teeth. I don't know. What you like to eat for breakfast? D Rich, you got the like luxurious breakfast with a name like that.
Okay, because yes, that's right. Because I'd be like, maybe give me that fried fish.
Yeah.
Yes. Give me that potatoes and onions. Or you could give me that some shrimp and grits. You know, I like stuff like that. I like savory and.
I know that. I'm like, yes. I like potatoes and onion. Give me a little potato and onion with a little sausage on the side. A little spicy sausage will work too. Pan sausage will always do.
But every now and then, I like my husband homemade pancakes.
Homemade pancakes. He make big pancakes or the small pan. He make flapjacks or what he do?
He make it whatever way I want it.
All right now.
All right.
How do you want it?
So sometimes I be like, no, don't make it big, make them small. No, can you make them big? You know, you be greedy, but then you don't eat them all.
What kind of syrup you like? Do you do that? What is it? Alga
no,
syrup?
no.
Alga?
That can't be
That
done.
country
That
syrup?
is for biscuits. That is not for pancakes.
That's them old people that like this.
That's right.
That is for nothing.
That is for biscuits.
Give me a little just regular old maple syrup.
Yes. Give me some Aunt Your Mama or some Miss Butter.
Oh, you know that's not politically correct to say, Aunt Your Mama.
Oh,
you know.
What's the new name? Mills.
Pearl Millins.
Same thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss Pearl.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss Pearl.
Them people. Mm-hmm. Well, we sorry.
We don't know no other name.
I even forgot. I'm sorry.
Is this a politically correct show?
I don't know if it's so much politically correct as it is religiously correct.
Gotcha.
More so than anything else. So,
Gotcha.
yes, we try to honor God on this. We honor God on these episodes here.
Okay.
So, again, we here with Mama Nim, D Rich, and we're the church ladies, -1 for now. So, I don't know. We're just going to start the conversation where it is. I'll edit accordingly for whatever it is we need to edit. If not, it's just going to run through if it run through. But because we were talking about relationships, is there any particular relationship that you all want to talk about? Or are we just going from relationship to relationship to relationship? What are we doing? All of us are married, by the way. All the ladies here today, all the church ladies are married.
And that's the thing. And although all of us are married, all of us have had to deal with our marriage in different capacities, from different angles, from the young and the old being married. That's my experience. I'll let everybody else share their own experience, but a lot of times I think when it comes to marriage, there's a perception and not a reality of what marriage is, because a lot of times we look at the fanfare of marriage, but it's the behind the scenes, because people will see you together and think, ooh, I want that, or I wish my husband was like your husband, or my wife was like your wife, and you be like, you don't know what you asking for, you don't know what I go home to, you just see what I present to you when we're out in public. So marriage, we are all married. Hallelujah.
So you said something interesting as far as perception. Where do you think we're getting that perception from? How do we come up with our perception of what we think is a good spouse, good marriage, etc.?
What I know for my first model was my parents, and what marriage is, or what it was supposed to look like, or what I didn't want it to look like, or what I didn't want it to be. And then the second part of that is what the church says marriage is, and what that was supposed to look like. And so I always remember when we were all single and my mom was hot with her daughters, and she had taken us out to eat, and she posed this question, and she said, I don't understand y'all, but I need to ask y'all a question. Which is better? A good sinner or a bad saint? And I was like, oh, give me a good sinner. Good God. I was like, She was like, what? So remember, we talking about we the church ladies. And so she like, a good sinner. So my reply to that was, yes, give me a good sinner, because I'd rather someone who is open to receive from God than someone who is rebellious and always wants to use the word to justify why they are in rebellion and why they shouldn't line up according to the word of God.
Can I add to that where you were saying where the perception,
Yes.
and being that I had to teach my daughters, my perception came from TV because it didn't even come from my family and the representation I had of marriage, because by the time marriage came, thinking about marriage, my parents were already separated at that time, so my perception came from TV with the 2 kids, a dog, and the white picket fence. We didn't know what went on inside the house or behind the white picket fence. So, that's where my perception came from. So I didn't have the example, and lo and behold, it was all by experience and not taught, or not someone speak and say, this is how to work in a relationship. So I found myself asking the questions after struggling so much. Didn't know nothing about counseling, but I was asking my mother-in-law, we need counseling. You don't need no counseling because guess what? She came in the era, you just work it through, And then I got married to leave home. I didn't get married for love. I got married because I came from a big family and I just wanted to get out of the house. So my perception, I believe, came from TV.
So you say you had a big family, but you wanted to get out the house. That's for some people, they long for a big family. So what do you mean when you say you had a big family, but you still wanted to get out the house?
Because of the space.
Okay.
I needed my space, but it was growing up in the project, and it wasn't even like conflict was going on at home. It was like, okay, I just want to get out. I want to get out. Especially being the oldest girl, out of 6 daughters, so I just wanted to leave at that point. Plus I had already had a child by then, so guess what, let me just get out and go. And one thing I wasn't going to do is repeat the cycle that I saw my mom come through, which I felt like my dad left her with 9 children. I said a man would never leave me with a house full of kids. So this was my perception of what I saw. I saw that. I'm not going to have that. And I think, she was saying, I saw my parents, either it was this ain't going to happen in my marriage, or this is what I saw in marriage. But then when I think about my kids, all 4 are married and have walked through some difficult and hard decisions in their marriage, but they still married.
Okay. So I'm gonna recap and then I'll give my perception answer as well. But I have a couple of notes that I took is we don't understand that we learn from the good and the bad in what we see, whether you say you want to model that or you say I know that I don't want that. And then you said a quote that you said I learned from experience, not what I was taught or even what you thought. And I got a little quote that I ended up making from that good sinner. I was like, a good sinner equals potential and a bad saint equals a rebel. Even though you would think that the good sinner would be the rebel, because you're talking about going to the world or whatever, and we ain't even gonna get into the subject of being unequally yoked. But I think for me, I had a model, and I just really think about my response that I was going to give. I chose to block out the people and examples that I had in the family of those that were divorced. Like I'm like, man, it is people in my family that are divorced, but I didn't choose to focus on those things because I looked at all of the people that were still married, which was you, and then I'm looking at your brothers and sisters that were married and stayed married that still are married. And so I looked at those things. So I kind of like maybe did a little blackout and act like the ones who got divorced didn't exist when I look on at other sides of the family and stuff like that. So I think my perception, I made that a reality because I just chose to focus on the positive things. Did I probably learn and pick up some things that I know I didn't want and may have modeled, but I caught very quickly as time went on? Absolutely. So I think the problem that we have with people today is 2 things. People aren't honest, and 2, people think that what they see is actually what's going on. You know how they say, don't believe your lying eyes? And it's not so much that people are being phony. It's just you have to still function even though you're upset with each other. You have to be able to go out in public. And it's not so much put on a face, but you still have to be able to function. Just because you are arguing in the house, nobody wants to see anybody arguing out in the streets. That's not appropriate. So if you probably slowed down and paid attention, you probably could see some of the body language and know when people are mad or upset or at odds with each other. So that's what I say. I think perception has been skewed because what people have thought was reality TV was still scripted. So that's my answer to that.
And what I call that is you didn't see them in their nakedness. Because a lot of times when we get closer to people or you start to fellowship with a person more and spend more time with individuals, you be like, ooh, they got a temper. Ooh, well, they not so clean. Oh, she don't help do that. Oh, wow, he work all the time. So you know when you start to get in relations, when your relationship becomes closer with someone else who is married and you start to become a part of their world, you start to see that it's not perfect. But now in that, when I don't see that perfection, this is where I struggled when I was single, because I would be like, God, I want to be married. And then when I would see a married couple having an issue, nah, y'all can have that. I don't want that. You understand? And that's why I say, so we want marriage, but then oftentimes when we see people having conflict, then we like, oh no, But understanding that in marriage there is going to be conflict, but now how do we deal with that conflict and still continue to love one another and how you say, and not be quick to be like, oh no, you know what, forget this, we could go get a divorce because I don't have to deal with this.
You wanted to say something, or you good with that? So something else that I also had wrote that you had said earlier, and I think is taboo or a word that we do not like to discuss in our ethnic background, counseling. And you was like, people don't, counseling was not a thing back then. I think we are better at embracing and acknowledging that, but I think the stigma that we put on counseling made people actually wallow or deal with things that they have not or would not have had to deal with. So knowing what you know now and where we are in 2025, how do you feel? How did you feel about counseling then and counseling now?
I always felt I needed the help of somebody else because I never experienced nor went through. I even tried to say, let's go to counseling. But with the ethnic thing, I don't want nobody in my business, was the response I got. I said, well, if you don't get it, I will. But I never still sought for it because I felt that if I get it and you don't, then it's of no good. That's how I felt. Maybe it would have, but I always feel like outside counsel would do us very good because my thing is, if you get it out of your head, talk it out, you can see it, you can talk it through. But if you keep it here in your head, it gets in your heart, and then you react a different way. So I feel that counseling or whatever they want to call it, therapy, does wonder when you stuck and it's like, what's going on? I don't understand. It's beyond my scope. Never experienced. You talking a long time marriage. They don't tell you. They just, what they call it, the vows. in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. You just saying stuff. You ain't thinking about the for better, the for worse, the sickness and health, for richer, for poor. You just, okay, we just going through the ceremony. Because you don't see, you see boyfriend, girlfriend, you never saw husband and wife, and then nobody was sharing anything.
You want to say something?
Go ahead, I'm thinking.
So, is all counsel good counsel?
No.
Oh, all right. Oh, I barely finished the question, but okay. Explain.
Because I remember one time going to the church.
Church lady.
Going to the church because of a situation that was going on at home. And I think, and this is my belief, that men think they, especially when you try to bring it up, you say, I think we need help. And they're like, okay, well, what's the problem? Well, what went on? Oh, that was no issue, and it's like, wait a minute. I'm trying to, it's like no further question or investigation, but I remember we were taking a class in counseling because it was required for our ministerial license or whatever. And one of the things the professor said was, you let people answer their own questions, But this is why I say, if you talk it out, I've learned, if you talk it out, get it out of your head, you have already sometimes, would you say, your answer to the situation. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people don't want to talk it out. They don't want to discuss it because this is how I have dealt with it. But I believe I feel the same way, and it may be because I had talkative mom who worked around professional people, and what she gleaned from them, it was like she was trying to instill it in her kids, even though she didn't talk it, she tried to teach it.
Still in thought?
Well, no, all counsel is not good. Mm-hmm. I do know that also too, you can get.
Thanks for selling with us today on Fix My Ship, where no relationship is beyond repair. If something spoke to you, challenged you, or helped you see things differently, do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe so you stay anchored to truth and growth. And don't forget to share this episode with someone whose ship might be drifting. They just might need this too. Until next time, keep your heart open, keep your mind renewed, and your ship headed in the right direction. Peace and progress.